What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, and today we're starting within my fortress of solitude. Behind me is the desk where I edit all of my YouTube videos and stuff, and you know, I'm sure there are going to be plenty of comments about the state of what's going on behind me here, whether it's the giant monitors or the giant mess on my desk. But that gets me to a point. You know, one of the things that I notice most about making things on YouTube is I get instant feedback. Usually it's a lot of stuff like, dude, you really suck at off-road riding. And you know what? I got one of those comments in my email box after I released that video with me and Josh riding in Colorado. But this wasn't just from somebody who was like, you need to get better. They were like, we will make you better. That email came from Tyler over at Ride Adventures, and he was basically like, dude, you suck off-road and we need to fix it. So he put his money where his mouth is and brought me out to Las Vegas to do some riding with them and their adventure training course. The only thing is, though, they needed to see how bad I was in person before they could fix it. So that is what we're looking at today. We're actually going to see how bad I suck, and then in a future video, probably coming out in a couple of days here, you're going to see me going through their training program and what it's all about. So let's dive on in. Take it away, 2 months ago Spike. Alrighty folks, 2 points of order before we get started. So obviously, as you can hear in my voice, I am not feeling 100%. I have had a head cold because I have literally been on the road the entire month of November. I have no idea when this video is actually going to go out on YouTube, but I have been out of town for a long time, and it's finally caught up with me, as you can hear. Second thing, I am still a bit injured on my right arm. So for those of you who remember, I was out, I was doing some dirt riding in Colorado with Josh, and I landed on this elbow. It's doing a lot better, but it's still not 100%, so we're taking it easy. I've got some painkillers on the bike just in case. Now, the weapon of choice for today is the Tenere 700. As you can see, this bike here has been well loved, well used, and we are going to have a great time out on it. So let's quit the jibber jab and hit the road. Don't! Well, folks, right off the bat, we got a fun start to today. My GoPro died, so I had to run into this Best Buy back here and buy a whole nother one just so that I could film for this weekend. This is ridiculous. I thought these things were supposed to be, you know, indestructible, and it was working great a day ago, and then it just kind of shat the bed. So now we're actually going to get underway, although we're almost 2 hours late, so we gotta get to stepping. Oh boy, okay, so a slightly more interesting start to the day than I was hoping for. I appreciate Tyler finding us a Best Buy so that I could continue to do the job that I need to do. I can't believe that my GoPro went out on me. It's the first time I've actually had that happen. So the plan today is to, we're gonna go ride the Lake Mead Road, the Lakeshore Road, and then we're gonna go out to Bitter Springs, which has some nice off-road riding, some good looking trails, and then according to Tyler, they do get a little bit more intense than the stuff that we're looking at for the training tomorrow and the next day. So we're basically just diving in at the deep end, although I do have a little bit of ADV experience under my belt. Another fun thing that we're going to be doing today is we're not going to be doing a full review, but we are going to be reviewing the Tenere a little bit as we ride. You can consider this a informal Tenere 700 review here, and hopefully we're going to have some fun once we get the hell out of Vegas. So catch you guys in a few minutes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Now, I did say part of this video was going to end up being a, you know, basic review of the Tenere 700, and this is going to give me a great opportunity to talk about the thing I dislike the most about this bike. It really doesn't have much power.
relative to the other bikes in the pack, I don't like the way that the Tenere 700 makes its power. It feels kind of outgunned. It feels kind of slow. You know, it's got plenty of grunt down low, but once you wrap it out, there's kind of nothing else up there. There's nothing from like $7 grand to Redline. It's also not particularly comfortable. The seat's fine, but it's kind of small. You know, it's a very small motorcycle, and so it doesn't feel substantial in the way that other ADV bikes do, and that's what I come to ADV bikes for. I come for that big bike feel, and I don't get that with the Tenere. Alrighty folks, welcome to Bitter Springs Road, which, or at least the staging area to it. Looking forward to finally getting the Tenere off-road. I did try it a little bit before, but this is going to be my first real at-bat with the Tenere. Oh yeah, this is the kind of off-road riding I love. This is like proper adventure bike stuff. And yeah, this is like road in your country, but this is just, you know, it's nice and chill, it's easy going, and it's gonna get a little bit technical later on. But, you know, all things considered, this is what bikes like this were designed for. Alley-oop. Oy, I just took that giant loop bag to the giant nuts. Ugh. That was fun.
Yeah, you're in charge. I'll follow you. If it gets too nasty, you might have to save me, though.
You'll be fine.
So as we're puttering along here, the biggest thing that I can say
for the Tenere here, and I've felt this way the handful of times I've been on this motorcycle, is that it's actually quite small. It really is a diminutive little bike, and despite its stature, it still has a decent bit of weight on it. I think it's like 430-ish pounds or something like that. I'll put something on screen here if I'm wrong. It doesn't feel particularly large. It's pretty manageable for me. Like, I can really just manhandle this bike. Now obviously I'm not shredding it up or anything, and this isn't super hardcore, at least not yet, but this is all really, you know, made super trivial by the fact that this bike is small. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a full-sized adventure bike, but despite being full-sized, it's the smallest of the middleweight ADVs that I've ridden. And it really does change the way that the bike feels being so small. This is all kind of just like loose, silty, gravelly stuff. It's
kind of fun because if you want, you can, you know, light up the back tire a little bit, help turn the bike a little faster. Yeah, it does step out quite nice. I do like that. You know, you add a little bit of power as you're straightening out a corner, and it does turn its weight pretty well. Like right, yeah, right there. That felt good. So the power on this thing is a little underwhelming on the street, but it does help it make it a little bit more manageable when you're off-road. You don't want just a ton of horsepower. Like the torque out of the Touareg, because it had so much torque, which makes it more fun on the street, you did need to you needed to mess with the electronics quite a bit to make it work off-road, at least to make it so that the traction control wasn't always interrupting at like the least opportune moment. Ooh, my front end's floating. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling of the front floating like that.
So after a little pause for a trailside potty break, we're out in the middle of BFE, but man, is it pretty out here. And this stuff is great. Now that I'm not moving, you can sort of see what we're going over. It's a lot of this light pebbly stuff in the tracks, and then in the middle there's this big heavier rocky crap, which always puckers my butthole whenever I go over that stuff. So I always take it real nice and easy. Man, second gear is great on this bike. It's like, for like 20-ish miles an hour, this is a great gear. It's exactly where I'd want to be in the power band. That's awesome. Because, you know, on the KLR, first gear's like 30 miles an hour. First gear's stupid tall, and then second gear is so far away that it sort of becomes unusable and you end up in first gear most of the time. Second gear on this is wonderful. Yeah, I can't wait to watch the footage and actually see what the area around me looks like. I keep trying to tell myself to look ahead, but it's a little tough. Come on. Just keep churning, bike, keep churning. Just trust the tires and let them grind. You're on a bad line, nothing you can do to save it now. Just get through it. God, I love adventure riding. Oh, I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad at it, but I fucking love this shit. there's been a lot of these out on this trail. Ooh. Yeah, you can really feel that front end get just mega light. Steer with the rear. There we go. Now it's getting it's tough again. There we go. Yeah. Now where everything's biting good. Been a lot of these like dry riverbed, creek bed, you know, flash flood zones. And those are pretty fun. They're fun to ride. They're cool to be in. Obviously when it's not raining. So you don't want to be in it when a flash flood comes, you'd be screwed. That's all soft. Back on the seat. The only problem is in the washes is all this real soft, silty sand. And I just like to go over it nice and easy. Again, nothing to prove. You just don't want to eat it because it's so, you know, you have good traction 1 second and then the next you don't.
A little rough?
Just soft. I have a hard time keeping the confidence up to keep the speed up to go through the soft stuff. You know, I end up chopping the throttle, slowing down, front gets heavy, and then it's like, oh shit, you know.
We'll fix all that.
Alrighty folks, we are officially out in Nowheresville. The guys are switching over some memory cards and their GoPros, and we're taking just a quick little break. This sort of stuff is awesome. I love riding this kind of terrain out here. It's just a little bit tough, but you know, enough that you can constantly get flowing. It's not interrupting your flow on the bike, and I'm having a great time despite being terrible at it. However, I do have a couple of issues with the Tenere. It's a little bit small for me. I end up leaning forward a little bit on the bike, so I'm having to manage that a little bit, and getting used to the way that the tires behave. I haven't used these Motos tires before, but they're starting to feel pretty good, and I'm getting my flow going, and we have some interesting stuff coming up. I'm going to turn the camera around here. Not sure if you can see that trail there. The camera's doing a great job of flattening everything out here, but it is pretty darn hilly. It's time to get back on the bike.
Well, folks, we've officially hit the end of the dirt, and what dirt it was. That was a ton of fun riding through Bitter Springs like that. That was great. And now we're heading off to the Valley of Fire, that way. Kyle and Tyler needed to head back because they have to prep up for the training tomorrow. But Todd and I are adventuring onward. Yeah, I think this is all cruising though, so just gonna be some nice pretty sights to round out the day. Well, y'all, I think I'm gonna start losing the light here, but today has been a just downright incredible day of riding. I am so glad I had a spare day to come ride out in these hills, because god damn is it just incredible out here. We're up in the Valley of Fire now, and just Jesus Christ, everything looks so unearthly, I guess. So if I had to just give myself a nice little quick rating on the old Tenere here, I've been enjoying my time on it. I really have. It's been a nice bike to get to know, and the more you learn to ride it on its terms, the better it feels. You know, the more you move around and the more you let the bike do the turning for you, and the more that you actually like turn the handlebars. You know, I'm used to like steering with my waist and stuff, but if you turn the handlebars, the bike pivots really nicely. So this is a nice bike. I just honestly, it feels to me like the evolved form of the KLR, not necessarily like, you know, the best thing in the whole wide world. I think people who are saying that the Tenere here is like the apex predator, not really. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a great bike, but Jesus Christ, look at all that stuff. God damn, this is unbelievable out here. But yeah, I think anybody who's saying that the Tenere is like the bestest adventure bike of all time ever, not really. I do wish it had a little bit more potency when it came to, you know, road riding. I wish it had a little bit more grunt, especially up top. I do wish it had, you know, better wind protection on the bike, but a lot of the on-road sacrifices are made for off-road gains. So if you're riding this motorcycle primarily off-road, then I think it's a great adventure bike. I really do. The power makes a lot of sense off-road. And, you know, it definitely has a place in the market being cheap without a bunch of technology on there. But, you know, I kind of like having some technology too. You know, just switchable ABS is all fine and good, but well, it looks like somebody's getting airlifted out of there. As a street bike, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give the Tenere like, I don't know, a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It doesn't do it for me. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but I don't love it. But then on or off-road, I'll give it like a 7 or an 8. It does really, really well, especially for the stuff that we were doing, which was kind of like flowy, chunked up stuff. That felt good. It felt good to do it, and it didn't get heavy on me, which was nice. Even with my busted up arm, it didn't get heavy. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and at the very least, let me know what you think of these sort of open-ended adventure style videos where I don't really have a point. I'm just kind of going and doing a ride, because, you know, sometimes you get all caught up in having videos have points, and sometimes, you know, you need a show about nothing. And that's kind of what today was. It was a show about nothing, and I had a great time making it. So let me know down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Oh, before you go, big shout out to the folks over at Ride Adventures for getting me out here. I could not have done this on my own, and I can't believe they just were like, yeah, take one of these bikes out for a day. So definitely check them out. Links are in the description below. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. See you later.